Hello, friends. Um, it is Tuesday, June 30th. It is my birthday. It's been a pretty shitty day, just because of work and problems and stuff. But looking forward to my kids coming back here shortly and then spending the rest of the day with them and trying to salvage what's left of the day and try and enjoy it. But I'm having one of those fucking days where it's the reason why I created this channel in the first place. The Surreal analysis is because some days it just hits me hard, the reality of how surreal fucking everything is. And, like just everything that you hear, I don't even want to say on the news because I barely even listen to any of the mainstream news. I hear a little bit here and there. I see a lot of mainstream media clips on independent news that I watch. Pick up a lot from that. Just hear what the fuck they're saying and not saying is probably truer. But, you know, uh, everything is shit right now around us. And, we're approaching the 250th birthday of this country, and I'm going to come right out and tell you that I love this country, and that's why I care as much as I do to be outspoken like I am. Get myself hot water with people occasionally, but like this, the country right now hitting our 250th birthday is so different than the country 5 years ago, and that was so different than the country 10 years before that, which is way different than the country 10 years before that. Like, we've like evolved, or I would even say devolved, because we just have this super eagerness for convenience for everything. And I've always been about working hard. I've always worked hard, put in the blood, sweat, and tears, put in like serious thought into everything I do. Just try not to be lazy. Like it keeps you healthy to be active, and pride comes from caring about what you do and putting in the effort. And I think that that's a mentality that a lot of people have and hold. But I think that a lot of those people also have completely hypocritical views of things. Like, I'll give an example. People have the mindset that I worked hard for my money. I work hard. Got all these people out there that aren't working hard and mooching and everything. And then people invest money into the stock market and they make money doing that. But that's fine. But to make money in the stock market comes from real people like us getting crushed so that they could squeeze every cent out of the bottom line. So that's not putting money in the stock market and making money like that. And if you gain wealth and you gain significant wealth from that, and you still think you're you got the attitude about working hard for your money, you're kind of all fucked up and hypocritical. And I can't really understand that. But everything around us is just crushing us. I was out of work for 6 months and defaulted on just about everything and could barely survive. And even now, it's like I get paid bi-weekly, and most of my money the morning I get paid with my direct deposit, I gotta pay all these fucking bills, and I've got almost nothing for the next couple weeks. And I got 2 kids, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, I can't even get by. And I just am constantly squeezed, and it's like you hear about all sorts of shit that's being driven by we're propping up these people that are pushing technologies that are essentially just going to make us ultimately lazy and lazier, like people depending on looking everything up instead of, learning about things for real. I come from having to like learn how to do things on paper and math and shit like that, and they were taught not to rely on calculators and stuff, and you know they are still teaching math in schools, obviously, but it's like it's fucking weird the way they do it now. The Common Core and all these new ways they've adapted seem unnecessary to me, but you know, people just like, you know, but the kids now they got Chromebooks and stuff in their classrooms, you know, as opposed to doing stuff through textbooks and all that, and that's like pushing of more technology and people to make money from that, and the whole, you know, education industry and all of the cyber stuff that's, you know, attached to that, all the IT tech stuff. But anyways, you know, that's just another facet. But you know, how about the way new cars are being built, and they're making them now so that you can't do basic shit on your own anymore, and you have to try and take it somewhere, and you have to pay money. You know, like I got rid of my Equinox after I had to pay $120 to get a bulb changed. I thought I could do it myself, but no, you got to take half the car apart just to get at it. You know. I'm on limited time and I strayed off here, but I'm tired of the times, and I think the biggest thing is we need to stop fucking propping up the people that are doing this to us. We need to recognize it, and we need to recognize that our convenience, you know, and our desire for laziness or whatever, you know, can't just take a back seat, you know. We can't just be propping up these people that are doing this to us and just being like so consumed with, oh man, I can't, the technology is so cool. It might be cool, but we don't need it. We don't need it, and we don't need to get to the point where we can't do anything on our own anymore. You know, how fucking ridiculous is that going to be? Like, that's where we're headed. I don't know. I hope people wake up and smarten up, and you know, we need a correct course in everything in our society and in this country. And it's like, you know, I love, you know, being an American, and I'm very disappointed in our society though, and I'm very disappointed that our government, you know, and you know, all of the elite billionaire class that own everything that we have to buy can manipulate us any way they want, and we're just completely gouged. The prices just keep going up all the time for fucking everything, and it's just getting really hard to fucking survive. And it's like, you know, I don't know, do I see things clearer? Do I see how things are all interconnected more than other people? I mean, I don't, it seems obvious to me when you just think about any given thing and think about what's connected to it and how could it branch out, and all these things are connected to you as a consumer for everything. I don't know, it's a rant, incoherent, but it's my birthday, so whatever, don't get too mad at me. Hope everybody's having a good day. Peace out.